say you love me, I know cause I see it. If I respond that way, is that conceited? I'm not trying to come off as the bad guy. Last time I played, I got cut before halftime. With you, though, I'll never be done. Like Tracy McGrady, you'll still be the one. Been here for a while and I'm still having fun. So when I say I hate you, I'm just being dumb. Hey guys, it's Shai.
It's Asia.
It's Shaiasia.
And Shai's copied me with the backwards hat, so for y'all video watching people, she copied me.
Anywho, I don't agree.
Can I start this off with a quote that I just saw?
What's the quote?
Life is like a helicopter. I don't know how to operate a helicopter.
Wow. Okay.
That speaks to me very deeply on a spiritual level.
That's the situation as a whole.
Wow, yeah. It kind of ties into the episode.
Everything.
Because nobody knows how to navigate life right now.
Nobody knows. So basically, we're going to be touching on how we feel about this pandemic.
Yeah. I don't want this to be like a super political podcast, but this is something that like affected our life.
Yeah, because like...
lives. Both
yeah, does anybody ever really tell you how they feel or what they think? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody gets political and...
they read stuff and they try to spit out facts at you, but they don't tell you how it makes them feel.
So we coming at this from an emotional standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm going to start this off. A lot of people don't even know that I had COVID. And
I feel like I did too. I feel like I got it March 2020, but I didn't really understand it because that's when that's when our part of the world kind of shut down for the first time.
Yeah.
And I just thought that I was really sick because I had a migraine, and I usually get migraines before my period. So, but then it like grew into something else.
And also before we learned the symptoms, you couldn't taste, you couldn't smell.
Yeah, I couldn't taste, I couldn't smell, which was the worst.
Super congested.
Few days. I don't know, it was probably like a week, I don't remember.
Where we were trying to watch Tiger King and you just wasn't even...
I couldn't. I wanted to watch Tiger King so bad. I still haven't finished I haven't finished it.
There's another season and I started... Okay, but...
Yeah, but... we were literally in the middle of Tiger King when I started feeling horrible. It was bad, but I didn't go to the hospital because I didn't understand what was happening. And I get sick all the time.
Yeah, and for us, two people that like battle situations with our mental health, being away from our loved ones and our friends at this time has not been easy.
Yeah. And
I feel like this whole vax versus unvax, it's BS because now we know that the vaccinations basically don't do shit. Like,
let's not say that. Let's not, because we're gonna piss a lot of people off. But vaccines lessen the symptoms, or in some cases, you don't feel anything at all.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Because like you can have it and not know because you're not experiencing any symptoms. But if you're not vaccinated, like us, we are not vaccinated. Don't come for us. I really don't give a shit about what you think, because we thought about it long and hard. We had many conversations about it, and we're both on the same page. We are not planning on getting vaccinated. I don't even get the flu shot, so I'm good.
And for a lot of people that don't know, in April, I was diagnosed with hypertension, and I know that for a very long time, like I was not myself. Like, my weight was horrible, my breathing was horrible, like, there were a lot of things wrong with me, and I just did not know what was wrong until, like, I had, like, this kind of episode, and it landed me in the hospital for 4 days straight, and I was miserable, okay? I was miserable in the hospital, but...
Well, within those 4 days, we got engaged, guys, so she wasn't miserable the whole time.
Okay, that's another story. Like, engaged in the hospital, what? But... also, I think that was awakening that saved my life and changed my life for the better in a lot of ways. But the crazy thing is, I've had so many not so many doctors. It's not like I see like a whole gang of specialists. Well, I kind of do.
You kind of do.
But like all of my doctors told me, you don't want to get COVID, get vaccinated so that if you do get COVID, it's not harsh. Well, guess what? I'm here. I had COVID. And it was mentally the worst days of my life.
She was sick, but if COVID was not a thing, she was regular sick.
Right.
Like, if we didn't put a label on it, she was regular sick. The fact that it had a label and the label was COVID, her brain went everywhere. Like, it was more mentally an issue than it was, like, actually an issue.
Because, like, when you read way too much...
She Googles everything. You need to stop. You need to stop Googling. Stop.
But it's also how I know so many things that other people don't. So
yeah,
like,
but
it's
like when you got your diagnosis for hypertension,
right.
literally everything was gonna kill you because you Googled it.
Right.
Then you got COVID. Literally, you were gonna die because you Googled it.
Listen, I wasn't gonna die. I was just panicking about getting my sense of smell and my sense of taste back. Because, like, for those of you watching and those of you that know me, look at me. I'm not a small person. Like, I love food, and it's not hard to tell. So not being able to taste it, not being able to smell it, that was
me too. When I had it in March 2020.
Like, we both love food, so it's like, even though we're venturing off into like eating healthier,
I still like the way
shit tastes good, right? It still tastes good. Like, even on the healthy tip, like when you find something you like it. So it's like, how am I gonna live life? How am I gonna live life?
But if you never Googled the fact that people don't get their senses back, you would have been fine.
Okay.
You would have been like, all right, I'm gonna.
You're right. But it was less Google and more me knowing people that haven't, and the fact that it hit so close to home. That was my problem. Like,
yeah, and I didn't know my Uncle Hector had COVID. That I knew.
Right, but we didn't know that he still couldn't smell.
Yeah, my mom like recently told us that he still hadn't got his senses back, but he's still living life. He's fine. He likes food too. Right. I mean, we're Puerto Rican. Our food is fucking good.
At the end of the day, it's just like, he had time to adjust to it. You never know where his mental state was. That first month, that second month, you know, like, I heard that he got it in August. I hear that over time, it could be several months that you'll eventually get it back.
But even when you got your senses back, you were like,
bugging,
I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it again.
I'm gonna lose it again. I know, but I do that. My mind, which will be another talk, trauma. Like, I've read and heard that, like, traumatic experiences cause your brain to operate in a way that nothing will ever be the same. Nothing is ever going to be okay again. And I'm trying to fight that. Like, I want to be the same me that I was before the situation.
Isn't that what your sweatshirt stands for?
Never be the same, yeah. See?
Camila Cabello sweatshirt.
Okay, Camila, come through.
Wow, you wore that on the right episode, because that's literally what you're talking about right now.
Yep. But yeah, back to the whole situation about COVID as a whole. Like, for me, it was more mentally, like it was, I was just out of there, bro. But I think I had like a fever, like maybe 2 days max out of the whole 10 days of quarantine. And before I even got diagnosed, I was walking around like, I feel off. I don't feel too well, but...
Like, you just felt regular
sick?
Yeah,
I felt sick. But then as soon as they was like, oh, it's positive, I was like, it all hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, not even emotionally yet. I'm not gonna lie, not emotionally yet. Because I walked out of the room like a G. I was like, yep, Asia, look, I'm positive. But then I just...
Yeah, and she was like, smile, like... Because I went to urgent care with her. I was waiting in the waiting room, and when she came out of the room after getting tested, she's smiling. So I'm thinking like her test was negative, and she's like, "Yep," and I'm like, "Yep, what?" She's like, "It's positive." Why are you smiling? Why?
Because like, in the back of my mind, it was like, "Yep, I'm right. I knew I had COVID," and I was ready to face it head on. But
you thought you were ready.
I thought I was ready. But you know what it is? The isolation. I felt like if I had you through the situation, if I had you if you were tangible, because sometimes your touch calms me down.
Okay.
And you don't understand that. So having to sleep 10 nights straight in the bed alone after you've been sleeping with the same person for almost 9 years is mentally, it breaks you down as is.
I understand, because I cried a couple of those nights too.
I didn't know
But I cried the first night in your face.
Yeah. Can I hug you?
But even after you went back, after your quarantine, you went back, you got tested again, came back negative, but you're still feeling kind of sick or whatever. I was able to sleep in the same bed with you, but your mind was still doing what it was doing. So you can't say that me being there.
But I was more optimistic with you lying beside me. I wasn't totally broken. I was more optimistic. After I got the negative test, I was like, okay, I'm prepared to have to still face some adversities with this situation. But
big words.
But then, like, yeah, Google. Like, stay off of Google, y'all. Like, don't.
No, not y'all. You, bitch. You
No,
need to
because
stay
I'm not the only
off
one that
of
does
Google.
it. I've spoken to people that do it too, especially after they get diagnosed with something. Like, their life is just falling apart with every little thing. Like, it's weird. Like, I have to.
It hasn't. Doctor.
Right. It hasn't been a full year yet, so I'm still learning. Day by day. Like, I have to take this one step at a time. And, like, not being able to party, not being able to hang around a bunch of people, feeling like you're outcasted by, like, family members because they want to go here and there with other family members and not you.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole...
Like, some of my family members are vaccinated and we were not disinvited, but just not invited at all to certain gatherings because of our status. We are not vaccinated.
Right.
But my whole thing is, hopefully y'all are listening, because I probably wouldn't say this to your face, but hopefully y'all are listening. Us being unvaccinated has nothing to do with you being vaccinated. Because if I had COVID, I'm staying my ass home.
Right.
If I have it and I don't know it yet and I'm contagious and you get it, your symptoms are going to be fairly low or none at all. So it's like, what is my status? And you can get it from another vaccinated person.
Right.
If somebody else that you invited to your function has the sniffles, but they're like, oh, I'm vaccinated, so I can't get COVID. Because a lot of people think that they can't get COVID if they're vaccinated. But you can still get it, and you can still pass it along. You can get it and not know you have it because you're asymptomatic, and you can still pass it. So not inviting certain people to your gatherings because of their vaccination status is, in my opinion, wrong.
Especially because at the beginning of this, so many people felt like they were doing the right thing, but I feel like y'all didn't understand what you were doing. You thought you're saving the world because that's what the government is telling you. But if you read what you're putting in your body, if you understand the concept of the situation, if you know that you can still catch it, you can still die from it, and you can still pass it, why are you injecting something in your body just to lessen the chances? Like, you could get in a car crash, you still drive.
Yeah, but it's
you
like,
could
it's
die
like
on
putting,
a plane,
it's like
you
putting a
still
seatbelt on. Getting vaccinated is like putting a seatbelt on.
Everything you do when you walk out your house every day is risk taking. So why inject something in your body which you don't understand what it does, just to make the chances slimmer? To me, it seems more selfish than selfless. And everybody was trying to convince, you should do it. Why did you do it? Can you explain to me why you did it? No, because you don't understand why you did it. And now that you know that, not going to say that it doesn't do nothing, but it helps you more than it helps anybody else, then
like a lot of people got vaccinated so that they can see their grandparents and stuff.
Right.
But if you are vaccinated and
because the status made you okay. That's what that was.
If you are vaccinated and you have COVID and you don't know it, you can still pass it on to the elderly group of people.
Which to me is more endangering and more harmful than anything.
Yeah.
Because me not being vaccinated, I was able to tell that I was sick because something was off with my body.
Like, before COVID was even a thing, if I'm sick, I'm staying home.
Right.
Because
Facts. People acting like just because there's COVID that the flu and colds and other things are no longer contagious.
People have died from the flu, less likely than the COVID. I don't quote me on that, but
yeah,
it's still contagious.
Now they're saying that there's a flu rona.
Oh my god!
Get out of here. Get out of here. What makes one like? I need to know the science to see how they differ. Because how you gonna diagnose somebody with two things? Like
yeah, like what is the difference between the flu and corona? I don't know.
Like what's up? Like what's the math behind that?
Because I've lost my sense of smell and taste before COVID was a thing.
Facts.
I get migraines all the time. What's the difference?
Yeah.
I get fevers when I'm regular sick. What's the
boom? That's how people are moving around with COVID right now. Running around feeling that their body is tired, feeling that they're congested, but they're like, oh, it's the season to feel this way.
Yeah. Like it's like the people who are vaccinated, a lot of them think that they are invincible.
Or allergies, or like blaming on everything
like it could
else
be.
but having COVID.
It could be.
But
it could be like me being a non-vaccinated person. It could don't look at me like every time I sneeze I have fucking COVID because I get allergies and I am prone to getting sick. Actually, ever since COVID started, I haven't really gotten sick that much.
With anything.
So.
And ever since
because with the whole pandemic, for me personally and for Shaiasia, like we are more aware of the people that we are around, and if we don't feel well, we stay home no matter what it is. So it's like I feel like we are taking care of ourselves just as much as the people who are vaccinated.
If anything, even more, because we are afraid of the situation. Certain people that are vaccinated, like you said, Asia, I believe, they feel invincible.
Yeah.
So it's just like they're walking around like nothing can touch them. And
those are the people
that's the problem.
That are the problem. Just as well as the people who are not vaccinated doing the same things, they are also part of the problem.
Right. I see people like, oh, get your boosters and get vaccinated.
It's the we
outside. Like,
no.
So is COVID.
Y'all are the problem.
So is COVID. And it's the, get your boosters or don't forget to get vaccinated because I want to party with y'all. That is also a problem. Anything.
Like, so everybody's pointing the finger to people everyone's pointing their finger at the people who are not vaccinated, saying that we are the problem. When
we're the most cautious.
Well, not...
Some of us are.
So it's the cautious people, vaxxed or not vaxxed. But everybody else who's, like, either ignoring the fact that COVID is a thing, or ignoring the fact that their vaccine can still get COVID, they are the problem.
We just want to bring some light to y'all in an emotional sense because everybody is thinking about this statistically. Everybody is thinking about this scientifically and mathematically in every way, but being a part of human nature, being a part of humanity.
Yeah.
How we need to look out for...
Humanity levels have gone down.
So, how we need to look out for one another. Don't just, I'm vaccinated so I can do whatever. That's not how this goes.
You're not vaccinated, we can't hang out. What if I haven't seen anybody in months and literally been a hermit? Like, you can't see me? You can't see me. How can I give you COVID if I've not been around it to contract it?
Right.
Therefore, I cannot give it to you.
And then it's the people that try to monitor our social media and be like, well, you guys have been here and been there. Yeah, we post late.
I have a problem with posting on Instagram but saving them as drafts. So what you're seeing is usually
that didn't happen yesterday.
That didn't just happen.
That didn't happen
so
yesterday.
There was a point in time where in the summer where I had a lot of drafts and it was drafts of us like being out. So every time I posted the draft, it just looked like we were out. And a certain family member was like, oh, you're going here, you're going there, you're doing this without a mask, you're doing this with these people. Like, we don't know if you have COVID, like, we don't know if you can be around us.
All for that for certain people to be around other people that have actually caught COVID.
Yes.
After saying all of that.
Yeah.
It's you gotta stop discriminating against people because this shit is after everybody.
If I'm taking care of myself and we are family or like close friends, you consider me a close friend, you wanna if we were close friends before this pandemic or we were family who hung out a lot before this pandemic, we should have that level of trust that I would not put you in danger.
Exactly. And we have a lot of friends that we know that are party goers and like to go out, and they either just got that shit or had it already.
Yeah.
And they look at us like, I know, girl, I be outside.
Yeah,
but
they know.
They know. They take full accountability and responsibility for that shit.
We're not around
them. And that's perfectly okay because they know what they do and we know what we do, and I'll see you later.
Yeah. We're not around them because we know how they live their lives. Not saying that it's negative or anything, but we are taking care of ourselves.
Facts.
And if we, a couple of people who are taking care of themselves, cannot be around another group of people that are also taking care of themselves, that doesn't make sense to me.
I'm not gonna say that I was fully mad at that situation. I was a little hurt, but now looking back, I understand. But come to us first.
Yeah, like ask us. Talk to us.
Talk to me.
Like if you wanted me to like go get tested before we hung out, perfectly fine.
Right. There's ways you go about it.
Let me prove to you.
There's ways you go about it. Don't make me just miss an event where I'm sitting here watching on social media that all of my family is there but me because you feel a certain way about me that you didn't decide to discuss with me.
Oh, did you breathe?
Like I tried to, but.
Cause like I'm gonna say it flat out. My brother and my sister were invited to the specific event that we are talking about, and my brother goes out way more than I do.
Right.
And my sister goes out way more than I do. Both of them being.
She's at school with other children that go out. Like, come on.
So you saying that it was okay for them to be around the family and not me, who at the time I don't think I had a job. So literally. I was around nobody. So how can I give you COVID?
And the job that I had literally made us clean everything every day. Lysol. The fact that we weren't even selling Lysol wipes and sanitary things to keep them to ourselves in the store. We had employees fighting over hand sanitizer and Lysol and stuff like that. We were trying to be so clean amongst our circle.
Yeah. So and I know like we can't be the only ones that are going through this because there are some people who, vax or not vax, whose family and friends don't want to be around them.
Don't let this shit keep you away from family. That's depression. You don't want to turn around and feel bad because God forbid somebody unalives themselves because they feel so alone in this pandemic.
Anxiety and depression
it's not a good time for people.
It has gone way up during this time, especially for people in our age group. Yeah. Because we're so used to being around people and to just suddenly stop that. Mm-hmm. Like me, I'm a homebody.
And I get that that's why some people are being so stubborn because it's their way of fighting depression.
Yeah, because
they have to be around people.
But like me, I'm a homebody, and I'd rather be home.
I'd probably be outside if I didn't have you. So.
But the fact that I'm a homebody and this is still affecting me, that's saying something.
Exactly.
We still need some human interaction.
Right. So like the virus is attacking us, so we shouldn't be attacking each other.
Oh, that was spiritual.
Like yeah, that's basically what it is. Like, cause I get heartbroken and sad when some people are like, "Oh, I can't see my family because." Yes, you can. Just like you could get tested to go to that wedding. Yeah. Just like you could get tested to go to that party.
Just make sure that you're okay.
Just like you could pull out a vaccination card or whatever the hell that does to get into the venue that you want to get into. Just the way you fighting to be outside, fight to be with your family. Fight to be with the people that you love. That's what that is.
The passion behind that. Wow.
Cause it messes me up.
Yeah.
It messes me up, and it's like.
And like at first, it didn't bother me that much until it affected me personally. Like me personally not being invited to this event where I on a regular
and then
day
it affected
I
me
would
because
have.
Even though I'm empathetic towards other people, I know how you feel about this specific group of people. Yeah. So for you to feel like you were casted out
really
due to a vaccination status, I know that broke your heart, and for it to break your heart, it broke mine. Yeah. But we forgive. Because we understand.
Like I got where they were coming from.
Get it? Perfectly understandable. It's just the way you go about things.
Yeah.
You have to take a different approach. If you feel like you're putting yourself at risk by being around somebody else or putting that person at risk, have that conversation with the person. You can't just make up that two people's mind on your own.
Like, don't make up the narrative in your mind that we are a bunch of people. We're only two.
Right.
Don't make up the narrative that we're always out, we're always around people, because that's what you see on social media. Social media is not fucking real.
High key, we can't even fucking afford to go anywhere. So.
Like, I probably wouldn't even be able to afford gas to go to this event in the first place because I didn't have a job at the time, like I said. But the fact that I wasn't invited at all, not even considered.
Probably wouldn't have made it, but the fact that we wasn't invited.
Yeah. Like, invite me, and then I can let you know whether I can come or not. But don't just not invite me.
Shit, because a person like me, I had a problem with not being invited places before the pandemic.
Yeah.
It irks my soul for somebody to be in my inbox, in my text messages, on my phone, telling me that they love me, they miss me, they wish they could spend more time with me, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the closest friend, I mean the world to them, and then get up with a group of other friends and start posting that shit on social media. Where was my invite?
Yeah.
I'm your best friend, right? I mean the world to you, right? You love being around me, right? Where was my invite? How come you didn't think about me when you were around all these other friends? No, I'm only your best friend when you're lonely.
Wow. Oh my god.
And now everybody's realizing just how lonely they actually are during this pandemic because we're forced to stay away from people.
Yeah.
And it's like the people that aren't fighting to see each other, then it's just like, well, damn, I see how much I mean to you.
I mean, it's not even that, like a FaceTime call at least.
Yeah.
Like,
how you doing?
Yeah.
I miss you.
How has this pandemic
been
treating you? But I can't even lie. I'm not one to do that either.
There are certain people that are bad with communication.
I am really bad with communication. I literally just texted my best friend the other day after, I don't know, like our last conversation.
Yeah, but
when did we go there? Like August?
Yeah, but after years of knowing each other and how we all operate, I think we understand. It took us to fall out and get back together to understand each other more.
I don't even talk to my best friend.
Yeah, that we don't do certain things. We just don't. We lifing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like back to like feeling like an outcast when it comes to the pandemic. Like y'all just, like I said before, like stop. Don't attack nobody when this shit already attacking us. We need to group up, stand together. Like even if y'all feel like y'all want to hold a meeting amongst your family members and feel like everybody need to get tested just to be there, then speak on that.
Hold a meeting?
I don't know. Family gathering. Even, you know what? We have Zoom. And we don't even be utilizing that shit socially. Everybody been on Zoom for work or school.
Yeah. I feel like Zoom and like the house party app and all that.
Yeah.
That was popular.
What we're gonna do.
No, it was popular to use in the beginning of the pandemic.
Right.
They were like, oh, we can't see each other, but look how fun these apps are. But what about now? We're still in the pandemic.
And Snapchat died out too. Everybody used to use Snapchat to say where they was at or what they was doing, but now nobody at or doing nothing.
Yeah, I don't.
Or nowhere.
I don't use Snapchat anymore.
Snapchat ain't popular. Ooh, she's shaking the table.
You're leaning too much.
Yeah, I know. Basically, we just wanted to tell you how we felt about that.
Yeah.
From an emotional standpoint.
Yeah.
Something more than statistics.
Yeah.
Hit us up on our social media though.
Yeah. How do you feel emotionally about this pandemic? Like I don't want to hear any why we should get vaccinated. I don't want to hear anything about politics. Yeah. Just let me know.
Stay on my inbox with that.
Yeah. How are you feeling during the pandemic? Like,
yeah.
Are you okay?
If you need a pen pal, if you need a text message buddy or something like that, then...
Yeah, so we have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, they're both, it's Shaiasia.
Alright y'all, so it's Shaiasia signing out, and depending on what time you listen to this, try not to have a messy Monday. Peace. Wanted to win your affection, I play for it. Is it a cliche to say you're my favorite? We can go shop till you drop and I'll pay for it. Let's find a moment that's sweet and just savor it.